Hi, and welcome to Travels with Phil. I'm Phil Constantine, and in this episode, we're in New York State Central Park in the city of Seneca Falls. It is a nice little scenic community. In fact, they think they might be the inspiration for the movie It's a Wonderful Life, or at least the town in that. That's a picture of it from overhead, and here you are coming in from the south. You can see some of the grain elevators coming down into downtown. It's a small town, not a big financial area. Some of the mills that used to be along the lake there, they do have a canal. But what they're probably best known for is the National Women's Hall of Fame, or the Women's Right National Historical Park. And this is where the first Women's Rights Convention was held in 1848. And you can see the special National Park Service office that they have here, and also the scene where the open park was at, and the church, or what is left of the church where the original meetings were held. This was, 1848. A lot of the people involved were Quakers. A lot of the people involved were anti-slavery folks. And in this particular case, they were all involved trying to get more rights, or equal rights, for women as compared to men. That's a bustle, by the way, part of the clothing that women used to wear. And this is the wall of information they have outside, and that's the original site. Travels with Phil continues in Seneca Falls, and you're looking at Wesleyan Church. And this is the scene of the first Women's Rights Convention. Took place here in Seneca Falls on July 20th, or 19th and 20th in 1848. This is the water wall next to the place where the meeting was held. Some of the 100 people who signed a declaration of sentiments. You can see it here written out. Actually, I'm doing it here in reverse order. But basically saying that women have the right to basically have almost equal rights, or equal rights to men, and in various forms of details they expanded upon why they felt this was true. But this is what started the women's rights movements, or at least formalized the women's rights movements here in the United States. And it's a national park here inside the boundaries of Seneca Falls in New York. Travels with Phil continues. I thought it was interesting that this convention was held 72 years after the Declaration of Independence, but it'd be another 72 years before women got the vote. A little map there of where it's at. This is the scene of the old church where the actual convention was held. About 300 people showed up, mostly women, about 100 men. Frederick Douglass was one of the more famous men that was there. Elizabeth Cady Stanton wrote a lot of the material that was involved in this. There were lots of other folks involved. Susan B. Anthony was not here, but she became very close friends with Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and her home is nearby. I'll show you that in a bit. And so just a lot of the efforts involved in getting women equal rights, getting them the vote, not to be considered the property of their husbands, which was a major problem back then. And this is a little thing showing the women equal to George Washington there. And Stanton, Cat, and Mott on a stamp. And this is one of the other houses in a not far away community where some of the other folks were involved in it. So let's take a look at Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She lived in town, just the other side of the river that comes through there, very small river that comes through there. And she was, again, one of the leading forces of the women's rights movement. I'd say probably if you were to pick the top 10 people, or the most influential people, she'd definitely be in the top 10. Some people would say she'd be in the top 3 with Susan B. Anthony and a few others. You can argue who that other third person might be. But she did a lot of writing. They were friends for a long time. This is a picture of it at the age, and this is when she was a much older person. And so they put a lot of effort, and she put a lot of effort into getting women rights, especially the right to vote for the suffragette movement during the 18 and 1900s. Now, this is the canal that runs right through the middle of town in the northern end of the Cayuga Lake. So here it is from overhead. You can see her house is not too far from there. And then zooming in, locks number 2 and 3. And this is a 360-degree view, and then I will show you my video taken there. With Phil continues. We're in Seneca Falls still. This is the Cayuga-Seneca Canal. This is locks number 2 and 3. You're seeing the upper level here. There you go. A little bit of water coming around. And those two boats just went through here. I'm just checking with the lockmaster. And he says that the charge for those would be $15 for 2 days for that size boat, or $75 for the entire season. And that accounts for anywhere in the state. So that's the lockmaster walking away there in the blue. Basically the same operation as what I saw over at the Erie Canal. Just missed them going through though. Somebody over here fishing. Look at the side of that tube. And I'll show you those two boats. They're sort of houseboats. Not very big. So this is where the falls would have been, this general area here of Seneca Falls. Yeah, when you got canals, you don't tend to have falls anymore. Travels with Phil continues from Seneca Falls. And a lot of towns grew up around where there were falls because you could put in windmills, or water mills, I should say, and get power that way. And then you'd see a lot of mills for grinding and sewing and powering equipment. So this is a nice little community of Seneca Falls in central New York. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up by clicking on the button below. You're welcome to leave comments below as long as the language is family friendly. And finally, if you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel by clicking the button over on the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you again for watching.